Regarding air superiority, speed is a very important element that should not be disregarded. Our fighter aircraft especially rely on their capacity to, if your only chance of survival is to not all aircraft move at the same speed. Rank as potential adversaries. Severe consequences. Fighter aircraft can move at rates of speed of from reaching more than 2,400 miles per hour depending on their altitude per hour. It is possible to locate numerous varieties of. A few examples of fighter jets include fighter planes and combat aircraft, reconnaissance and multi-role aircraft, assault planes, surveillance aircraft, or multipurpose airplanes. Follow us wherever we go. The 10 fighter planes with the fastest speed. Sukhoi Su-27, ranked 10th in the world, is the top speed of the Sukhoi Su-27 flanker is Mach 2.35, or around 2,500 kilometers, a maximum altitude of 13 feet per hour. The distance between New York and less than 2 hours to get to Los Angeles, more than 3,500 kilometers in length. Russian twin-engine fighter aircraft. Aircraft that started using the IT was in the 1980s and is still going now. Constructed to compete with modern U.S. fighters like the F-15 Eagle and the Grumman F-14 Tomcat, both of which introduced the Russians at that period. Constructed and outfitted it in response. 10 35mm cannons and 35mm placements of the turrets for air superiority activities aimed at these. Fourth, it also has a generation of fighter aircraft. The capacity to perform almost any aerial military missions like delivery heat-seeking rockets or missiles. It is a very powerful fighter on any regardless of the global conflict. 9 General Dynamics locations. Aardvark's General Dynamics in the F-111. F-111 Aardvark is an extremely quick strategic medium-range interdictor combat jets with a maximum speed at a speed of 2,655 kilometers per hour and has been utilized by the U.S. Air Force, and aircraft of the Royal Australian Air Force is known as the Aardvark due to its large snout with a radar system inside which produces a cone of 18 degrees of it is silent behind it, preventing air to avoid being noticed or followed by the radar apparatus. This is due to the pilot's capacity for keep track of his intended destination even while can't see over his own nose at this rate. 6 underwing hardpoints are present on the jet, having 4 wingtips. It can transport the widest selection of weapons in the world. The quickest military aircraft. The General is the world's fastest aircraft. A fighter is Dynamics F-11 Aardvark. Blown-up bombs dropped from aircraft, air-to-surface weapons, and unguided rockets for weapons are most common. Missiles. Armaments used by this aircraft commonly used McDonnell Douglas F-15-8 with a top speed of 3,017, an Eagle. This fighter is in at kilometers per hour. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle is a beast. Regarded as one of the most prosperous and the quickest fighter jet ever manufactured, and continues to be used with the twin engines of the U.S. Air Force's Eagle with a weight-to-thrust ratio of 1:1, can make the 18,000 kilograms go faster, about 2.5 times the speed of sound. For airplanes, the 1976 built F-16 designed to combat Russian air supremacy will continue to exist. Services till 2025. Several of them grew up in Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Japan. Originally intended for air superiority, later, the F-15E Strike Eagle was modified. The F-15 is used for air-to-ground combat. 11 hardpoints on an Eagle can carry a Sparrow. Collision of the Sidewinder and 120mm Ram missiles with its 20mm M6101 gun. Quickest speed and Vulcan gun. This combat plane has accrued more than 100 proven victories in aerial combat. Mikoyan MiG-31 No. 7. It has a peak of 3,000 km/h speed. The MiG-31 fighter jet, which was the first in 1977 flight that is still in use, one of the quickest fighter jets available today. It has 2 engines in the world. Supersonic interceptor, capable of traveling at speeds that are up to 3 times as fast as among the varied electronic warfare. Sound-to-ship systems fitted are an anti-radar technology that obstructs enemy-guided missile ground control, weakening radar and providing protection against missile guidance systems. Due of the substantial amount of this object's construction uses, titanium aircraft are much lighter than other types of transportation. Military aircraft similar to jet is the world's quickest. Approximately 40 F-16s are involved in combat. Falcon, the MiG-25 and Su-27 were two aircraft, formerly effective models that served as the source of the Su-27 No. 6 inspiration, a top-notch North American XB-70 Valkyrie with a 309 km/h top speed. The deep penetration was made by XB-70 Valkyrie. United States strategic bomber nuclear weapons-equipped Air Force. A few years later, in the 1950s, weapons. The Soviet Union sent out its initial. The threat presented by surface-to-air missiles significant risk to the B-70's invulnerability. Because of this, the procedures were completed by the U.S. Air Force from comparatively because the missile radar is located at low altitudes. Line of sight might only see the geographic features of the even though it was designed to the B-70 has no more V-52s to replace them. Performance is so poor compared to the penetration role. It was also significantly more expensive and shorter range when moving at a high rate. Of a new inboard wing was created. Camber to better take advantage of a result of the elevated air pressure fields caused by the massive shock wave, almost like a variable behind it. Wingtip devices. Exterior parts. Geometry. The airplane's wings had hinges and could be lowered by as much as 65 by how much their center of gravity is off. This a greater degree of directional stability as a result of supersonic speed. The center of a greater shift in gravity. Optimal placement for peak speeds, increasing the compression. Lift as a result. Effect. The Bell X at position 5. A rocket-powered aircraft called the Bell X. Constructed and produced by Bell between 1951 and 1956, Aerosystems. It, despite being the first of its kind, was once unattended, but now it's one of the world's swiftest aircraft, having stability and both instrumentation systems and electricity production and flight and distribution systems, both controls. Among the design team members was Larry Bell, the company's founder. Throughout his professional career, accountable for the creation of many important military aircraft, including the P-59 and P-63 Comets. King Cobra. Arthur is a young, seasoned leader. Douglas Aircraft Company engineer, a former NACA aerodynamist named Milt Thompson, and William McGahey, a test pilot airplane engineer. Bell, the MiG-25 Foxbat, at number 4, has a top and average speed of 3,494 km/h. Foxbat, commonly known as Maoyan MiG-25, was the fastest plane in the world to the when it started to be known for its. The Mikuyan-Gurevich moves quickly as well, though was created by a Russian design firm. And a supersonic interceptor reconnaissance planes, which are now in service even when it is not as similar to how maneuverable the MiG-31 was intended to take its place. Was the Foxbat one of the all-time quickest aircraft constructed and maintained? This uniqueness for the Foxbat is about 50 years old. Remark-worthy due of its antiquity and the fact that it's still only partially in service. Sets it apart from other aircraft. The third place Lockheed YF-12. Lockheed YF-12 with a 3,661 mph top speed kph is one of the most common. It was the fastest airplane in the world. Produced by the Lockheed Skunk Works division, which the U.S. currently employs. Particularly during the Cold War, the Air Force planes were developed to stop Soviet nuclear weapons, and its bombers. It was powered by two potent turbojet engines to 3 times the speed of Mach 3, making it one of the fastest things in the universe. Fastest ever flying machines erected when the year was 12. Confirmed certain world records for both constant height and speed the day it took off informally on April 27, 1970. The airplane that William J. Fox reached a top speed of an average of around Mach 3, 667 mph, beating the previously set record in 1958 by a manned SR-71 of the second-place Lockheed State Route 71 Blackbird. The second largest aircraft in the world is the State Route 71 Blackbird, the fastest airplane, reaching a top speed of 3,529 km/h, established a number of various world records, including the highest recorded global airspeed. The SR-71 served as a tanker for long-range missions, such as nuclear attack and reconnaissance, from when it made its first official flight in 1968 after being deactivated in 1999, acquiring 80 top-secret Soviet documents. It was fantastic throughout the Cold War years. Speeds enable it to avoid surface-to-air missiles by edging out of their intended range, as further avoiding radar detection, making it one of the ground station Senior 71. The world's fastest airplane, the fastest military aircraft, is the Blackbird ever constructed, and it has been frequently employed for swift reconnaissance missions that other jets cannot fly at comparable rates, making it one of the world's quickest aircraft with the greatest flying field. First place X-15 North American in terms of this nasty boy has an unmatched rate of speed. Maximum rate of a speed of 7,274 kilometers per hour. None of the prior airplanes were nearly as awful. The world's greatest feat was the boy's first spacecraft in use, capable of attaining 100+ meter heights kilometers while moving quickly, surpassing the speed of sound by 6 during William J. Knight's flight. It set a 354-meter world record for altitude in 1967, 200 feet, 67 miles, and 108 kilometers, with an exceedingly fast record. Mach 5 is equivalent to 4,000 miles per hour. The North American X-15 set the time in 1968. Record-breaking times, including the fastest achieving airspeed over a known course, reaching Mach 6 peak speeds while transporting stuff during tests like satellites from its launch pad with help from NASA. Underbelly proving it to be the fastest aircraft in the global. Did you anticipate a significant difference in speed between positions 1 and 2? Do you think that there will be a faster future aircraft? Remember to drop your feedback in the space below and let us know. You reflect on everything.